The clowns. The clowns, Randy, they're here. The darkest of dark, though the flesh is young and the hearts are strong, precious life cannot be long. Something very soon is cutting through your lifeline. You never know what they really are.
The circus can be the main event for many a young boy. But for Casey, all this clowning around is about to come to an end. Clownhouse, now available on video cassette.
Gorgeous baby.
Hi, welcome to B&S About Movies. This is Sam.
This is gorgeous baby.
We're getting ready to watch Clownhouse, which came out in 1989.
I was little.
You were 5 years old?
Yeah. Still would have watched it.
Yeah. This movie was inspired, the director Victor Silva created a movie called Something in the Basement.
Mm-hmm.
And Francis Ford Coppola was so impressed, he gave him $250,000 to make
this?
Yeah, and he gave him the same cameras that George Lucas used to make American Graffiti, and let him use his home in Napa Valley.
So this is a shot at Francis Ford Coppola's home?
Yeah, but
Or
here's
George Lucas's?
Francis Ford Coppola's house. So here's where this movie gets crazy.
What? It looks weird as fuck, and I watched like 10 minutes of it on YouTube one time.
Well, there's
a
a reason why this movie isn't available.
Why?
Because Victor Salva is the same guy who directed Powder and Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, that makes sense.
So the kid in this movie, Nathan Forrest Winters, who's the main actor,
Sued?
He is the one that he raped.
No.
Yes, he videotaped one of the encounters. What? Commercial videotapes and magazines containing child pornography were found in Salva's home, and he served 15 months of a 3-year prison term, being released on parole. In 1995, once Salva began directing again and Powder was released, Winters came forward again.
The kid came forward?
Yeah, again. This film became a sleeper hit, but soon fell into obscurity. It was released in VHS and Laserdisc in 1990. Yeah. In 2003, the film was re-released on DVD by MGM, but was pulled from the shelves due to protests surrounding the sex abuse that occurred during its production. Oh my God. Yeah. The other interesting thing, it was actually in the 1989 Sundance Film Festival. Really? And it was nominated for a Grand Jury Prize in the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
And it has a film debut.
Who?
Sam Rockwell's film debut.
Told you, it's weird.
Is in this movie. So basically, the film concerns...
Like, it's not a cheeseball movie, I don't think. Like,
no,
it's serious.
It concerns 3 young brothers, home alone, who fall under the attack of 3 escaped mental patients disguised as clowns.
Yeah.
The tagline is, you never know who they really are. A circus.
Until they're clowns.
Of the mind. At the end of the movie, it says on screen, no man can hide from his fears, as they are part of him. They will always know where he is hiding. This film was made, for around $200,000.
Yeah. And
it was released in June 1st, 1989. It's a pretty short film. It's only 81 minutes long, but Victor Salva wrote and directed it. And produced it. So, but this kind of nearly cut his career short. But he came back to do Jeepers Creepers and the 2 franchises, and then it's coming back. Something in the Basement was his first movie, and it was a first place in fiction, the Sony AFI Home Video competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Francis Ford Coppola found out about him. He also did a direct video mystery horror film starring Lance Henriksen and Eric Roberts called The Nature of the Beast.
Yeah.
He based the film's characters on people he met in prison. Then he made Powder and Rites of Passage. That's about a film depicting a homophobic father who unwittingly pushes his gay son into
Which
the arms of a
movie?
killer. Rites of Passage.
Oh.
And then February 2017, they began principal photography for the sequel to Jeepers Creepers 3 Cathedral.
It's out now. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Or is that one already made?
It's filmed right now. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
He also did the movies Rosewood Lane and Dark House, which came out in 2014. And we saw Dark House.
Mm-hmm.
That is the movie, that movie where the kid touches somebody and he knows how they die. We got it from Redbox.
Is it the one with the plantation?
Yeah, with Tobin Bell,
Oh, God.
Leslie Ann Down, and
We
yeah.
didn't finish watching it.
No, it was one of those movies where we just, as we were watching it,
I was getting more and more upset.
It was not a good film. It just went on and on and on. But yeah, that was his kind of comeback film from the director of Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
They're kind of hoping that people have kind of forgotten the scandal. I don't know if he is going to direct the new Jeepers Creepers. Let's find out. It's in his filmography. Jonathan Breck will be the Creeper again. Yeah, it will be written and directed by Victor Salva. And it will be set between the first and second film. It's about the Creeper. The origins of the Creeper will be in this film.
Finally, my dad's questions will be answered.
It will.
I don't know why he likes that movie.
The original
so much.
truck was kept in storage by a private collector who was waiting for them to make another sequel. He would not let anyone use it. Here's the weird thing. American Zoetrope produced it with just Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
So obviously Francis Ford Coppola still believes in the guy even after all the stuff that has happened to him.
Yeah.
But it's in production now. As of April 18th, 2017, the film is finished and is scheduled to premiere September 1st, 2017, and they're already planning a fourth installment. But let's talk about Clownhouse. This, again, comes from our friends at VHSPS.com. I'm going to keep tagging them, and I hope they'll be like, why don't we send Sam back a movie every once in a while?
All right.
Why don't we send them Sorority House Massacre?
Yeah.
We don't want to watch it streaming on Amazon
He
Prime.
can't make it yet because he said if you can buy it,
Yeah,
he
he
can't
can't make it. As soon as that comes down,
make it. Your son wants it.
here comes my boy. I think, hello,
Here
Angela.
comes your man.
Welcome to the podcast, Angela.
Bing.
What do you think about Clownhouse?
He says that's what the basement is, Clownhouse.
We had some amazing weather today.
Mm-hmm.
The Kennywood flooded.
Yeah.
Is that what they say when you pee your pants? Because, when your zipper's open, you say, hey, Kennywood's open.
Yeah.
Teen said, no, that's not true.
So that's done.
Teen, were you scared of the hail?
He says, yeah, you guys left me all by myself. He says, my mom's eating puzzles again.
That's why he's
That's what
barking.
he wants.
That's why he's barking, isn't it?
Puzzle.
Becca's doing a drive-in puzzle.
And our dog is convinced that when I'm doing puzzles, it's food.
It's
Because
not.
they're little pieces.
Yeah. Well, he's smart. He knows that food goes
So
on the
there
table.
she goes eating a puzzle again.
Food goes on the table.
And then in my belly.
How many times have you seen this? You've never seen this?
I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years.
We've seen it. It's been on.
And I'm like, I gotta find this movie, and then I just forget about it. And then when I saw it there, I was like,
It's been on a lot of trailer comps.
yes.
That's where I first noticed it. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I should probably just not think about the associated
The perviness.
the perviness. I heard there's a lot of boys in underwear in this movie.
Oh, of course there is.
Yeah. It's kind of like that dude that made the all-boy version of The Craft. But we're not going to watch that movie either.
No.
What? A question for you, and maybe someone can answer this as we finish. Get ready to start watching this episode. You were watching, what was that movie? Almost Famous? What happened to Fruza Balk?
Watching Clownhouse.
I mean, where did she go? Do you know the answer?
Things.
Listener, you can reach out to us at bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. That's B&S aboutmovies@gmail.com, or reach out on the new Sam line. Sam landline.
Has anyone called you yet?
No, well, we haven't aired. Just one of the shows has aired where we talk about it, and it's only been up for a couple hours. So, look forward to that phone ringing in the middle of the night. 412.
What's it gonna ring to though? Oh, the iPad.
I have it set to go directly to voicemail and then send me an email when it comes up. 412-228-0137. That's 412. Country code 1 if you're in another country. 228-0137. And since the last episode aired, we have a comment on Facebook that I'd like to share with you, if I may, before the episode begins. We'll go look for it.
Who wrote it?
Rob Brown.
The only person who comments on our stuff.
No, we've had emails from people before.
The one lady in Oklahoma doesn't count.
She's not, well...
She's by herself.
Rob said, I shared out a thing that said, next 2 episodes are edited. If you ever wonder if I like the movie The Devil Wears Prada, or how I feel about Dabney Coleman's mustache, you don't have to ask me in person any longer.
No.
And Rob said, The Devil Wears Prada is delightful.
See?
I said, I wouldn't use that word to describe it. I said, and you're discussed on several episodes. What? I need to catch up. What Dabney Coleman are you reviewing? If it's short time, that movie is possibly the greatest example ever of 50-year-old men not knowing how to write children's characters. And Steve Winwood is also involved. I said,
The
well...
singer?
Yes. I said, it's not in the Applegates episode, you'll be discussed. So, a little bit of that. There's an update that's happened. Again, basically, if you talk to me on Facebook about this podcast, I'm probably going to put you in the podcast. Because you know what? You're probably one of the few people that listens to it. Though we get a pretty good amount of downloads a day. I will say that. So, again, if you can find Clownhouse, it's on YouTube. First time in a long time. And remember, if you are well, this will air 3 weeks after we first said it, but if it's still at this point, if I haven't received any voicemails, you could still be one of the voicemailers. All you have to do is call the voicemail line. Here comes Clownhouse.
Did you know your fantasies were only a phone call away? Did you know that there's a beautiful girl just waiting to fulfill your desires tonight? You don't have to be alone. They're waiting just for you. And they have fantasies too. They're beautiful and playful and eager to hear about anything you want to tell them. So don't just imagine what they're like anymore. Call them now.
I know we all have problems. The most important thing is just having someone to talk to, a friend, a person who has insight that helps. That's what they do at the Psychic Counseling Center. They help people. You call, they listen, and they use all of their experience and talent to help you. The fact that they're psychic may help them see the solutions more clearly. Give it a try. Call now.
Call toll free. Must be over 18.
So we just watched. I have holes in my socks, and we just got back.
Not just like one with a hole in it. One
I'm not
is missing
I'm not diabetic.
the entire heel, and the other
I'm
one
not
you can put your middle
diabetic.
toe through.
But I love their socks.
No, you're jealous of
Their
them.
socks are wonderful.
You wish that you could have it just so you could.
They're so soft, they make my legs feel so much better.
Maybe.
So we just done watching Clownhouse.
Wasn't as good as I thought. But
but
okay, we own it because I just want to show it to someone else.
I'm glad we watched it. Because I don't know how to describe this movie without using the F word. It's fucking weird.
Fucking weird, fucking bad at some point, something.
Special thanks to Hanna-Barbera.
Really?
It says Johnny
Don't
Quest.
ruin my...
Oh, they think Comico Comics because that's who a comic they use too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Alright, let's see if I can describe this movie. So 3 brothers that are way too close to each other.
Like, I'm surprised the kid even had a girlfriend because he spent too much time with his brother.
Like, well, what was up with that scene? Like, he was kissing the one girl and her friend looked at him like...
That was the 5 minutes I looked away from the TV.
Was that his ex-girlfriend?
I don't know.
Was that somebody else?
Maybe he's the hot ticket in town. And everybody's just jealous.
So there's 3 brothers. One is fat in a way that Pee Wee Herman's enemy Francis is fat. The second one wears glasses, and he's sensitive. And the third one is a dick, played by Sam Rockwell. They live in a house with a mom who's never there, and a father who's in Cleveland and always on the road. It seems like the parents are getting divorced. So there's like those kind of issues. So I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be one of those movies that that plays on the this scene right there is so unsettling.
I know.
It's going to play on the fears of growing up and
That guy did a really good job.
Yeah, pre-puberty. Now the clowns themselves are all really wonderful, but if you didn't know the subtext of this movie and the scandal that goes with this movie, it would be even weirder for you. Because there's a lot of male nudity in this movie.
Yes.
A lot of young male nudity. So I grew up with a brother. Becca grew up with a brother. It's a little different when you're a girl growing up with a brother. But I never, when my brother was taking a shower, took a poop. My brother wouldn't even let me near the bathroom. Even today. He won't go in the bathroom for hours after I'm done. That's why my brother got a house with a separate bathroom.
One for you.
When he lived in the other place, there was a bathroom downstairs. And sometimes I would have to go the whole way down to the ground floor to go to the bathroom.
Hey!
So that I wouldn't ruin his bathroom. I just cleaned it. Do you mind?
Your brother...
Do you mind? Do you mind if I give it up? You don't mind, do you? And then he'd be like, I feel bad now. I'm like, no, it's fine.
See, your monstrous shits are known
So,
throughout the land.
They live in this town.
That's an idea. I'm going to get a special Sam bathroom.
And-
Or outside.
They live in this town.
There'll be no slamming toilet seats before.
They live in this town, and it's right next to a mental institution.
And a circus.
And a circus. A circus comes to town. And the people at the mental institution are upset because their circus privileges, 3 of them lost their circus privileges. Did you know?
Since when do they take all the Western psych people to the circus? 'Cause I don't know.
You just lost your circus privileges.
That's going to be my new saying.
Yeah. Do you think they're like, you know what? You've made a lot of progress. And you've made a lot of progress.
You can go to the circus.
Boy, you 3 aren't going to the circus. And they said, literally, that radio report says, everyone else in the mental institution is at the circus. You know what?
I'm not going to that circus.
If there's 300 dudes from the mental... there's probably at least 100. Say 200, 300 people in the mental institution, right? And they're all at the circus? Yeah, I'm cool with not going to the circus.
Right.
Did they get a special night with no other normal people there?
No,
And the circus seems like the kind of thing that it charges people up in a way that movies or concerts and things don't. Mm-hmm. Like, people react strangely to the circus.
Yes.
Like the dude that was kind of jacking off to a balloon animal earlier in the movie. Right?
Right.
So, these clowns go to the circus anyway, even though their privileges have been taken. And while they're at the circus, the 3 clowns that are the famous clowns in the circus come out and do a routine.
They do.
And they scare the youngest brother. The youngest brother goes crazy and shoves the clown. This leads to all sorts of hilarity. Mm-hmm. And he runs away. While he is running away and playing a game where he wins another clown, this other clown will be important later in the movie. Yeah. The 3 clowns feel bad and talk about how bad they feel. They scare the kid. And then the mental people kill the clowns. Mm-hmm. From then on, it is a stalking movie of the clowns chasing the kids and the brothers fucking with each other. Except, there is more looping and ADR in this movie than maybe any movie we've ever watched. Mm-hmm. Sam Rockwell re-recorded almost every one of his lines. And he says some stuff that makes no sense. I don't know if they're trying to make him like Bill Paxton's character in Weird Science. Do you know what I mean? Where he just says stupid. But I don't think so. But he's not the villain.
No.
But he's never presented as sympathetic, and not in a slasher movie way. Also, if you're in the mindset for a movie with a 15-year-old kid, a 12-year-old kid, and a 10-year-old kid in danger, in real danger for an entire movie, this is the movie for you. So the clowns break into the house, but it turns out 2 of the clowns are pretty easy to kill. Because the clowns are just clumsy. They have no special powers. One falls down the steps. And the other does a picture-perfect flip out the window. Like the most perfect flip you've ever seen. And so then there's one clown left. The clowns kill Sam Rockwell, we think. It's never really said if they do or don't. Earlier, the brothers are all telling a Halloween story with an axe. The one brother is the little brother gets attacked. I think the other brothers are dead. What'd you say? The middle brother comes back and saves him with the axe.
Yeah.
End of story. It's 85 minutes, which says to me they kind of pacing-wise ran out of stuff to do.
Yes.
So what did you learn about the director of this movie?
That's creepy.
But what did he do after he got out of jail?
Oh, he wrote scripts on the weekend.
Uh-huh.
He still wanted to make movies.
Yeah.
But he had to take a telemarketing job because he was out of work during the week. And then weekends he found some delivery job where that could get him into rich people, producers' neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So he could sneak the scripts to them.
Do you think you remember that Mr. Show sketch where you have to go around and introduce yourself? Do you think that was like, he's like, hi, my name's Victor Sala. I am a child molester, and I'd like to give you a script for Jeepers Creepers. And they're like, hold on a second. Because as we've discussed before on the show, every Hollywood movie has cocaine involved. So the dude lifted his head from a giant mountain of coke and was like, wait a second.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a child. No. Forget the child molester. This movie's called Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
Right. And the bad guy's called the Creeper. Yeah. Hold on, let me call some people. And that's how it happened. It's there is definitely some talent on display here, and there's some lack of talent on display here. It's very uneven. But there's a lot of really cool, scary scenes. I don't know, here's the thing. Do you think it's scary because of clowns are inherently scary? Or do you think it's scary because of the direction?
The direction. And the one clown was pretty scary, the other two didn't bother me too much.
Let's look up the main clown. I'm sure you would have to think that main clown was in something else.
No, I bet you this was his only. I bet you he's dead.
Do you think he was like...
Yes.
It's... Everybody in this movie is insane. You know? Like, seriously, everybody in this movie says crazy things. What is up with every time the kid was in trouble, the young brother, and he would, like, look at his hand and, like, squeeze his hand and unsqueeze his hand? Yeah. What was that supposed to be? Like, it just felt... So, Nathan Forrest Winters, who's the kid who was involved in the lawsuit and everything, never did anything else. Neither did Brian McHugh, who was in both of Victor Salva's movies.
Yeah.
He's the middle brother. And, well, Sam Rockwell, we all know. He's done several movies. Michael Jerome West played Lunatic Chizo. He's been in a few TV series. Mostly known, though, for Clownhouse. Is the only thing that he's really known for. What are the other... Do you know what the 3 clowns' names were?
What?
They were Chizo, Bippo, and Dippo. Then there was Real Chizo, Real Bippo, and Real Dippo. There was a mother, a ringmaster.
Hi, I am a computer hired by Paramount Pictures to promote a new motion picture starring Robert Duvall, Shelley Long, and Bette Midler as the ringmaster.
A storekeeper, the storekeeper's assistant, who got killed with a full Nelson. This movie is known in other countries as Clown de la Fournie. It was originally released only in Japan. There's some quotes from the movie. Would you like to hear some of the quotes? They really are out tonight. Who are? The clown. The fortune teller. Randy said midnight. The time for something awful, something evil, something real or not. He was too scared to tell. That's when they're telling the ghost story back and forth. The mom was played by Valletta Skillman. She's only been in one movie, and you just watched it. Karl-Heinz Schreiber. He was in this as the real Dippo. He also appears as a wig salesman in the movie Amadeus. He has 47 IMDb credits. A lot of them are short films, so seems like he's the kind of guy that just showed up and got into a few things, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was his second movie. He went from Amadeus to Clownhouse, where he was like, "I'll be the real Dippo" in this movie. This movie is a 5.8, though, on the site. Do you want to hear what other movies you should watch if you like this movie?
Yes.
Alone in the Dark,
Mm-hmm.
Dolls, I, Madman, Curtains,
Mm-hmm.
Tourist Trap, The Burning, and Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Several of those movies we've watched. Oh, that's the other thing about this movie that's weird. There's a lot of bedwetting in this movie. In fact, in the first scene, when the kid sees the clown, he pees his pants. And it's not presented in it's presented in a kind of it's a strange way. There's some good reviews here. I will say, though, the hallmark of a good movie is when I went outside, I did look for clowns. So, someone called this movie on IMDb creepy and fun. One of the better 80s horror movies. Very, very creepy. Good concept. That's it. Someone said the most horrifying film ever, yet they only gave it 8 out of 10. This guy said, I've 10 stars. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've scarcely seen many other slashers in my time that have displayed such a masterfully effective use of shadows and suspense as this one. This picture is basically a series of setups with suspense, and that coupled with eerie ambience is what I think it does best, and what I love the most of it. I don't think they can get away with making movies these days. You just don't see them anymore. The film does a lot of stuff dead right. It's scary without relying on jump scares or gore, with hardly a drop of blood. Maybe for some people that hurts the movie, but I personally enjoy it either way. I think it brilliantly demonstrates that horror doesn't need blood in order to be frightening. The theme music is very memorable. It sets a strange and unsettling tone. I really believe this is perfect as a killer clown movie could be. There's only so much you could do with that, though. Although it excellently plays out the fear of clowns, you sure as heck don't need to be afraid by these ones. Alright, to be fair, it's only really the leader that's scary. A stone-faced fiend with a ghastly piercing expression who has any strong sense of unnatural menace to him, which is perfectly fine, as he has enough threat for all three. He's no Pennywise, but I think his performance makes the movie. The other two really aren't all that great. The one with the pointy hat behaved as if he were retarded.
Yeah.
His death made me laugh. And the one with the purple hair, he's plain pathetic. Looking like nothing more than a bored spaced-out man in a clown suit who the kids managed to defeat with a plank of wood. But that said, I did like the way the clowns were never silly, despite the way they're dressed. I like how, save for one laugh at the beginning, they never say a word or a sound. They're kind of like ghosts. And that's something interesting. It's not necessarily about clowns, but the idea of something twisted and hiding behind a false happy thing of makeup. Of course, it doesn't help that these particular Harlequins have scary faces. And when it's kids in a horror movie that are being terrorized, that's a whole different brand of terror. What I like most about the combined performances of Winters, McHugh, and Rockwell is that their acting wasn't perfect. That's why I believed them as brothers. The brother dynamic was well established. I thought the relationship between Jeffrey and Casey seemed sweet and genuine. Randy, while seeming to be a threatening bully, occasionally showed a softer side, so he wasn't a complete jackass. And I must say, the only thing I disliked about the film was Nathan Forrest Winters. He was too whiny and so mumbly that most of the time I couldn't tell a word he was saying. To me, he made a very poor lead. I love the numerous excellent little moments where a clown will dart in the background and someone will just turn like they're gone. All that stuff just greatly enriched and heightened this movie for me. Like in that early scene where the maniacs kill the real clown. The only real color is the brilliant white of their face paint. And it's like the dawning of the war paint. And thus begins the madness. That's the way the lead clown stares straight at Casey, marked for death. I don't know about you. If I were going to look out my window right now in the dead of night, I dare say that if I saw a clown, it'd be scary as hell. This whole film is like a dream or a nightmare. It starts slow and progresses deeper and deeper into this almost surreal kind of madness, culminating in a surprisingly brutal axe-in-the-back grim ending. Great to watch Halloween or just whenever you might feel like some tried and trusted sweet old 80s frights and fun. Bye!
Bye.
What a weird... That came from Forever is a Cast Iron Mess from the UK witch country. Wait till they read my review. A lot of people really like this movie. Anyways, I'm glad we watched it. And I'm glad we own it. I think it's very much like Home Alone. There's a lot of Home Alone is in it, you know? And it feels very TV movie.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of like an Are You Afraid of the Dark?
It just looks that way to me because it's the VHS, you know?
Yeah. I guess the version that came out on DVD, it's really expensive. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, obviously... They pulled it from the market, but that's why you should go to VHS PS and get it. That's what I say. We're going to have to order some more stuff off them. What would you give this movie, Becca? A B? Here I thought you were going to say C for clown.
No.
I'd say B. There's very effective points in it, but there's so many weird technical things in it that it's kind of off. But I don't feel like I wasted the 80 minutes that I watched it. It's better. It's probably better than most of the horror movies that will come out this year. Is it the best clown movie ever made? No.
No.
What is?
Killer Clowns.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Mm-hmm.
Did your brother met the actress of Killer Clowns?
He did.
What did he say to her? She was really tickled, whatever he said to her.
He just told her that he loved her since he was little and, you know?
He had a big crush on her?
Yes.
When he was little?
Yes.
I had more fun at that convention than the other convention.
Which one?
The one out in Green Tree.
You had more fun at that one
Than Monroeville.
than Monroeville.
Yeah.
Well, Monroeville was just like a shopping trip.
Yeah.
It's like
A $70 license to shop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here's $70 so you can spend $40 on DVDs.
Yeah.
Always spent more than that.
Yes.
I have new DVDs to file.
I know you do.
That if you don't file them, you know what happens. You buy the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the store and I'm like, do we have that? Nope. Well, it's the end of another episode. Do you know how people can contact us, baby? What's the phone number?
I don't know.
What's our home phone number? Our landline.
3189.
No. Oh, you're close.
466.
412.
466.
Yeah.
3198.
3189.
Close. Yeah.
Yeah. People can call that number, it won't ring. So we can give that number out. No problem. Then we should use that phone number as the answering machine number for the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can call 412-466-3189, or you can call 412-228-0137, or you can call both. Or you can email us at BNS. Go ahead, baby. BNS.
About Lindy's.
Yes. At gmail.com.
At gmail.
So that full address, it's bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. And if you can be friends with either of us on Facebook, which would be probably fun for you. You get to see a lot of dog pictures. You get to see a lot of pictures of Becca wearing outfits. Mm-hmm. You get to see a lot of pictures of me doing silly things, some videos of me. But I'm not going to tell you how to do that. You got to be tight with us. Mm-hmm. Not everybody gets to be a Facebook friend. Can I throw in 2 more plugs?
Yes.
Look up Drive-In Asylum on Facebook, or their Etsy store for Drive-In Asylum. The 1979 yearbook is out, and I have 2 articles in it. one about Meteor from 1979. This is the all 1979 issue. So Meteor and Prophecy, and I did a painting of the movie Prophecy that's in the issue. The next issue is in July. I will be painting the cover, but it's a special secret because there's some, actually like 2 or 3 celebrity interviews in this issue. Bill's hitting the big time. And I will be reviewing a movie. I'm not sure what yet. I have some time. I have a couple thoughts. And you can go to that'snotcurrent.com where I just reviewed Batman and Robin. Pretty much if there's a movie Becca doesn't want to watch with me, I will review it on a site or one of these magazines. And if you'd like me to write for you, please do. Anything you'd like to plug, Becca? That's another episode of BNS About Movies. Angelo is asleep. Becca is playing Candy Crush. It's time to blow out the candles.
Yes.
And